orientation. We're going to explain everything you need to know about the debate that you're going to do at this camp. First, before I begin, welcome to the 15th House Camp Debate Orientation. Okay, so we will be your hosts for today. I am Tiffany.
And I am Leo.
We're going to first tell you the order this orientation is going to go in. We're going to explain to you why we debate and the sequence of the speeches, and also explain to you what each position is meant to do.
So now, who can tell me why we debate? Why do we debate? Why do we debate? No one knows? Yes, you at the back.
Yes, you. Yes, you.
Why do we debate?
To get good discussion.
Yes, to have a discussion and to argue about a topic and also to win. Yes. What class are you in? What class are you in?
What class are you in?
One blue sticker for Cameron. Yay! You guys have to participate, okay?
Okay, so who are the first speakers? Okay, which side is the Prime Minister on? Okay, who are the second speakers? Okay, well done. Who are the third speakers? Speakers? Okay, you've all been paying attention in class. Well done.
And I think we should give the blue stickers to the class here. What class are you in?
Your reaction is very good. Very good.
And now that we've learned the sequence of speakers, we're going to go one by one to each row. Yes. The first speaker is the Prime Minister. What does the Prime Minister have to do? Yes. Who can explain me what defining the motion is? What is defining the motion? We've done this in class. Yes. Yes. So to explain the important key words in the motion, right? What class? Duke, one blue sticker for Duke, please. And what else does the Prime Minister have to do? Yes, that's right. And lastly? Make arguments. Yes, the Prime Minister will make 1, 2 arguments. And the difference between the Leader of Opposition and the Prime Minister is that? Yes, the Prime Minister gives a definition and the Leader of Opposition replies to the definition given by the Prime Minister. And secondly, team position. And third, and lastly, make arguments. Yes, just like the Prime Minister, the Leader of Opposition will also make 1, 2 arguments. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So tell me, who are the second speakers? Deputy Prime Minister and Deputy Leader of Opposition. What's the first thing they have to do? Okay, second. And number 3?
Make arguments.
How many? 1 to 2. 1 to 2. Okay, well done.
Then how many arguments should each team make in total? 3 arguments, that's right. And the third speakers are the whip speakers, the government whip and the opposition whip. The first thing they have to do is what?
Summarize the vision.
Yes, so each team has to tell the audience what team they are in. And secondly,
Talk about
thing that should be done by the web speakers. So, who can tell me what a clash point is? What is clash point? Yes, you. Second to last. Stand up, please. Stand up. What is a clash point?
What they debate on?
Can you elaborate a little bit more? Can you explain a little bit more?
Can you tell us a bit more?
You can do it.
Everyone, shh.
Can your classmates help? Your classmates can help.
Can anyone help her? Shh, be quiet.
That point, we have to find it and talk about it. So we have to talk. Our team is right.
That's four to the reply speakers.
Yeah.
Can we have another person? Yes. Purple t-shirt.
First point is two kids fight each other two teams argue and fight each other like friendship.
Yes. What class are you in? One blue sticker for West Point? And yes, so clash point is the major conflict that exists between the debate, right? Between the government team and the opposition team. The major conflict that exists between the two teams, okay? Yes. And what does the web speaker has to do next? Yes, the web speaker has to give rebuttals to the arguments made by the previous speakers, okay? Next slide.
Okay, guys, the last speakers. What are their names? Okay, reply. What's the first thing they have to do?
Summarize the debate.
And the second?
Summarize your team.
And the third?
Explain why your team is
Okay, explain why your team is better. Okay, so, but what's the one thing they shouldn't do? Yes, they shouldn't make any more new arguments. Well done. Okay, so now, do you all understand what each of the roles have to do? Yes. Okay. Do you guys like blue stickers? Okay. Now we will have a short Q&A time, and if you get the answers right, we will give you what? Okay. So the first question is, who can make arguments? Who can make arguments?
The teacher, white t-shirt.
Yes, you. Shh, be quiet.
Prime Minister, leader of opposition, Deputy Prime Minister, Deputy Leader of Opposition, and
Okay, what class are you in? Pardon? Yale. Okay, one blue sticker for Yale.
And another question. Who can make rebuttals? Who can make rebuttals? Your hand up first. Okay, thank you, Mike. What class are you in?
Okay, guys. Okay, so how many people are on this side? 4. How many people on this side? 3. Who said 4? Who said 4? It's 3, right? So now we learned that there are 4 people to each team, right? But in cases like this, where the team only has 3 speakers, what can we do? What can we do? Does anyone know? What can we do? Okay, what can we do? Anyone from the back? Anyone from the back? Okay, you. Yes, you. Stand up. You, in the glasses. Yeah, you. You're like going like this. Okay. So what can we do?
One person can do 2 roles, or 2 people can divide
What you have to do is to pay attention to the speakers and find the mistakes they make, okay? You have to pay attention to the speakers and find the mistakes. And the motion for today is... This house believes that time travel is better than teleport. Seated on my right is the number team. The cutie prime minister, David. And number five, David. And seated on my left is the opposition team. Leader of opposition, Jackie. And the cutie leader of opposition, Root. The opposition whip, Jesse. Opposition reply, Alphaba. Now I give a round of applause to the first speaker, government team, Prime Minister, Jack.
And finally, there's the third argument, which will be presented by our proud Deputy Prime Minister. Now let me elaborate more on the first and second arguments. First, time travel allows you to fix your mistakes. Every human is imperfect and makes mistakes. And I can prove that right here very easily. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Is there anybody here who has not made a single mistake in your life? Please raise your hand if you are so. Exactly. The worst thing about mistake is that you cannot turn it back. When you make a mistake, the only thing you can do is to regret and try not to make the same mistake in the future. But what if you can actually go back to the past and fix your mistakes to make your life perfect? For example, imagine that you left your smartphone on the bus and you lost it. Then, in reality, you probably have to go to your parents, tell the truth, be scolded, and buy a new one. But with the time travel ability, you can simply go back to the past and find your smartphone. Then you can save your money, and you can avoid the angry screamings of your parents. For another example, there are times when you accidentally hurt your friend while you're playing. And of course, you didn't mean it. In that case as well, you can just go back to the past and do not repeat the mistake of hurting your friend. Next is our second argument, which is time travel helps you prepare for the future. If you travel back to the past, your present becomes the future. And that means you now know what will happen next. Think about it. With the knowledge of what will happen next, you'll be able to live a much easier and more successful life. For example, right now, you have to study every day to pass your daily tests. But with the time travel ability, you can simply predict the future and know what words will be on the test, and you can study very little and still get the full points on the test. Think about how easy that would be. Another example would be about winning the lottery. If you know the lottery numbers, it is so easy to win it. Just remember the lottery numbers, go back to the past, win the lottery, and guess what? You'll be rich in a day. In conclusion, we believe that time travel is better because first, time travel allows you to fix your past mistakes. By fixing mistakes, you can live a perfect life with no mistake at all. Second, time travel helps you prepare for the future. By going back to the past, you'll already know what moments and chances will come to you. And your life will become much easier and at the same time, more successful. And this is the end of my speech. Thank you for listening.
Yes, he didn't define question. Okay, what class are you in? Stanford. Where? Stanford. Okay, one blue sticker for Stanford. Okay.
discuss on the motion, this House believes that time travel is better than teleport. Before defining the term, I'd first like to point out that the Prime Minister did not define what time travel and teleport is. So, going on with our definition, we define time travel as the concept of movement between certain points in time, and teleport as a movement of objects between one place and another without physically passing the distance between them. We, the opposition team, strongly believe that teleport is much better. So directly moving on to my rebuttal against the government team, the Prime Minister mentioned that time travel allows to first fix mistakes and second, help prepare for the future. However, when we see the first case of fixing the mistakes, we believe that the mistake itself can be a stage for development. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying, failure is a mother of success. We can see that when we make mistakes, we just not stop at a failure, but we can go further and learn further. And by the way, mother's food is much more better than the school cafeteria, isn't it? Going on, second through the rebuttal of the helping preparing for the future. If we change the present, the future is going to be different every time, so there is no use of preparing for the future when time travel exists. Now, I'm going to go on to providing my argumentation. We believe the teleport is better for the two reasons. First, it saves time, and second, it saves money. For time, the time for transportation is not used at all, and this is greatly efficient in time. Think about it, we can go to the United States in just 1 second. And I want to go to the United States because I want to go to Disneyland. I want to go to Disneyland because I like to see the Disney movies and those kinds of characters. Second of all, it saves money. Moving from here to there does not only consume time, but also money also. And when time transport is allowed, it would be very efficient. Thank you for your time and attention. Who can tell me what mistakes she made? Who can tell me? Yes, you. Yes. Yes, so that means that she went off the topic. What did she say?
She wants cafeteria is better than others.
Yes.
And she wants to go to Disneyland.
Yes, that's right. So is mom's food related to teleport or anything else? Anything about the motion? No, she went off the topic. And she also talked about how she wants to go to Disneyland. That does not relate to the topic for today, right? Yes, thank you. What class are you in?
Yale.
Illinois. What blue stand for Illinois? Yale, sorry. Okay, and and now I would like to welcome the Deputy Prime Minister.
As the Deputy Prime Minister of the government team, I came here today to argue in favor of the motion that time travel is better than teleportation. The reasons behind this is the fact that we will be able to visit historical figures in the past, allowing us to have an enriching educational experience. Instead of guessing on why people act in a certain manner, we will be able to ask them ourselves. An example I will give you will be Hitler and why he hated the Jews so much. There are only rumors about the reason of the hate that led to the Holocaust. Some say it was the fact that his illegitimate father was Jewish, and others say that the most widely accepted opinion is that Hitler himself supposedly explained in his biography that he and the public blamed the Jews for the loss of World War I. With continuous Jewish immigration in the German society and the rise of anti-Semitism, this paved the way for outright extermination of a single race. Now, all opinions are valid, and we can see that some might be true and some might not be true according to the information that are provided to us. But if we were given the ability to time travel, we will be able to check the facts and make sure what was true and what is not true. And that will give us more instructive and in-depth learning. For this reason and the reasons above by the Prime Minister, we the government deserve to win this debate. Thus, the motion stands. Thank you.
He didn't make a rebuttal. Okay, what class are you in? What class are you in? Okay, one blue sticker for West Point. Yes, his speech was too short. Okay, what class are you in? Where? Okay, one blue sticker for you. well done. I would like to now ask the Deputy Leader of Opposition up to the podium.
At this time, as the Deputy Leader of Opposition, I would like to rebut to the arguments of the Deputy Prime Minister. Later, I will move on to talk about some other reasons why teleportation is a better superpower than time travel. First of all, the Deputy Prime Minister argued that time travel is better than teleportation for its educational purposes. The government team believes that going back to time can provide oneself with the opportunity to meet the historical figures and learn history from the actual characters. However, time traveling just gets you back to the past, but it cannot assure you of getting close to those historical figures. To further explain, since time travel only gets rid of the barrier of time, one should still think of a way to actually get into the scene. The example given by the government side is that we can have an in-depth learning of a historical case like the Holocaust. However, even though you can go back in time, it is extremely challenging to experience the Holocaust in depth. You have to either be a pure Aryan and become a Nazi, or a Jew to become the victim. If we consider this problem, it is clear that time traveling does not have advantages over teleportation. Moving on, I would like to give our team's arguments. Our argument is that teleportation can save oneself from stepping into a threatening situation. Danger is always around the corner, and one can never perfectly be ready for every danger. Danger never waits for you to pack your bag and run out the exit. You could perfectly be safe only if you avoid the situation by magically teleporting to a safer place. For instance, let us assume that you were at you were at an amusement park, riding a roller coaster. As you reach the peak of the rail, the safety bar suddenly unlocks as the ride slowly faces the ground. What can you possibly do to solve this problem? Would you shout from a few hundred meters from ground level and make the engineer stop the machine? Would you hold tight onto the seat and pray that you won't fly out of the ride? The answer is simple: teleportation. If you have the ability to teleport, you can save yourself by teleporting to a safer place. Without having to worry, you can just simply place yourself away from danger and be safe forever. The ability to teleport not only saves you time and money, but it also saves your life in any case scenarios. For this reason, the opposition disagrees with the motion. Thank you.
Yes, he spoke Korean. Are you meant to speak in Korean in an English debate? No, what did he say? He was talking about Norikosan, right? You are meant to use Korean in an English debate. Okay, thank you. And now I would like to call upon the government. Oh, what class are you in? You win. And call upon the government web speaker.
Is better than teleporting. Our team, the government, strongly believes time traveling has more benefits than teleporting. Now, as the government whip, I would like to rebut to some points made by the deputy leader of opposition, and then organize the 3 clashes I was able to find out throughout today's debate. Before I move on to my clashes, I would like to rebut to the statement of deputy leader of opposition. He said that teleport saves one from being in a threatening danger. Yes, I agree to this point, but there is actually no point of overvaluing teleport over time traveling, since time traveling can also do the same, even allowing one to fix the mistakes that one has done in the past without knowing. So, the opposition side has failed to reason why teleport is actually better, as our motion says. Now, I would like to move on to the 3 clashes of today's debate. It seems as the opposition side did not fully understand the beneficiaries time traveling can give to oneself. The first clash was safety. Our wonderful Prime Minister have said, what did he say? Okay, he said that one can fix mistakes
mistakes by time traveling. Time traveling enables oneself to see the consequences and find out the mistakes that one has made in the past. As our government side is putting emphasis on how time traveling can change one's life dramatically, it helps people fix one's mistake easily. However, ladies and gentlemen, the opposition side believes being saved instantly from a threatening situation will help oneself get more safe. What do you think would happen if you learned nothing back for your mistakes? You will never know what went wrong. The opposition side has only seen the problems in a short-viewed perspective, stating teleport will help one become safer and get away from danger. With this narrow-minded argument, we can see that the government side has won this clash. Second clash was saving money. Our Prime Minister has said, prepare for the future since mistakes can be corrected, and one will try to not try to make the same mistake over and over again. When one fully gets ready for future, there is no need to worry about money, since one will know what they need to do to earn money. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition side at this point is focusing on something very small. Does transportation cost really change one's life? It's something not worth comparing with changing the future. Lastly, the last clash was the time efficiency. We believe time traveling works educationally good as well. Our Deputy Prime Minister said, well, I should remember, by visiting historical figures, one could save time when studying for the topic. Meeting the historical figure once works much more efficiently than studying and reading books over and over again. Nonetheless, the opposition side insists it is time efficient because one can save the time moving around. For this clash with the opposition side's narrow-sided opinion, our government has won this clash as well. I have now identified three clashes: safety, saving money, and time efficiency. Seen from three perspectives, our government side was able to find out how the opposition side was narrow-sided and can only think of short-term benefits. So I, as the government whip, believe that today's debate should be taken home. Thank you.
She had a lot of pauses and stuttering, right? Okay, what class are you in? Colombia! Okay, one blue sticker for Colombia, okay? So guys, are you meant to speak like how government whip did at a debate? No. How are you guys supposed to speak?
Clearly.
Clearly and with confidence. Okay, thank you. Now, I would like to welcome the opposition whip up to the podium.
Ethics and moral. We as a human love to imagine stuff. That's the basic instinct. Sometimes psychic, or sometimes called out superpower, is a typical imagination. Watching movies like Avengers or Harry Potter, we wish that we could turn on and off the light with just one snap. Among the superpowers, the top willing power are definitely the time travel and the teleport. Ladies and gentlemen, both abilities are quite attractive. However, if we could choose only one, just one, teleport is definitely the priority. Today, I as the opposition whip will rebut what the previous speaker have said. Then I would like to introduce some important clashes that I found on today's debates, and then summarize our team's strong and clear main arguments. Now let me start the rebuttal. The team government was so illogical and out of the point that we could not even concentrate. The Prime Minister sitting there with his funny yellow watch, his argument sucks as his fashion. His first argument is that the time travel allows you to fix your mistakes. He brought the example of leaving the cell phone on public transportation. However, his example was not convincing at all, ladies and gentlemen, because if he was a person with a proper intellectual level, he would call it grab a cell phone, not trying to this level. The second argument was also nonsensical. Time traveling cannot make you predict the future because a new consequence will appear after you change by predicting the last future you saw. I'm wondering where the government team's stupidity just came from. The Deputy Prime Minister, he's sitting first. The way he talks irritated me so much, but surprisingly, his silly argument irritated rebutting, ladies and gentlemen. Half of her speech was which really sounds like a dumb. She totally failed on this debate. The great shame on her. Now, moving into the clash that I've found. There are total 2 clashes that I found in today's debate. First, the priority value, and second, the education. For the first clash, the priority value, Team Government's nuance seems like to live a personally better life is a top priority. However, our Team Opposition's priority value was not effectiveness. How effectively the power will work. For the first clash, we the opposition took the clash home because since we have provided a more broader perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the point made by the government team was rather unethical, which devalues the importance of the value. Therefore, the first clash, the priority value will be taken by our Team Opposition. The second clash is education, ladies and gentlemen. Both Team Proposition and Opposition insisted their power are more educational. However, time traveling cannot bring the results that the government teams are looking for. Therefore, the idea of the government team was idealistic, lacking the reality which failed to persuade us. On the other hand, since the opposition was able to approach unrealistic topics more realistically, again, the second clash is also taken by the home opposition, which makes our team wins the entire debate. Lastly, I want to wrap up our team's clear arguments. Our leader of opposition has mentioned 2 important points, time efficiency and money efficiency, explaining why teleport is important. Next, our third argument brought up by the deputy leader of opposition was the educational benefit that we could obtain. Therefore, we are proud to oppose. Thank you.
She made personal attack, right? You can say she made personal attack. What did she say? She teased his yellow watch. She also called him stupid and dumb, right? Are you meant to do that in a debate? No, you are meant to make personal attacks. You are meant to tackle their fashion or tackle whatever they have, right? Yes. What class are you in? Columbia. Now I would like to call upon the opposition opponent to the podium.
Loses out of this debate from the very beginning when the Prime Minister failed in contextualization, making our leader of opposition provide a setup instead of him. But the most fatal mistake made by the government side is failing to preempt the most important piece of new and fourth argument that I, as a reply speaker, was about to elaborate in my speech. But before even moving on to that, Team Opposition has successfully told you that ability of teleportation clearly has an upper hand in terms of practicality as well as efficiency over government's claim of time traveling offering educational benefits and helping to achieve a perfect life. Firstly, teleportation ability is incredibly helpful in saving time and money. In a capitalistic society, every bit of resource, whether it be tangible or not, is money. And reaching maximum productivity is the ultimate goal. With the teleportation ability, you won't ever have to pay for your transportation or waste your precious time while using the transportation. And make use of that extra time and money. Secondly, teleportation offers an active learning experience by dropping us off on the doorstep of anyone who wishes to learn from while time traveling ironically does too require a teleportation ability to travel through space to meet the exact person we need in the right place and in the right time. But third of all, most importantly, let's debate on whether or not a perfect life is good or is it achievable in the first place. Their argument of making a mistake is based on a premise that a perfect life is desirable, and the new argument will be teleportation ability comes with fewer side effects because we have direct control on what is happening. Time traveling may seem like it's handy because you can fix your mistakes. However, the crucial downside of this ability is that yes, you might be able to warp in time, but you do not have any control at all on what is going to happen once you get there. We are not gods, and assumptions and reality is very different. You will travel back and forth in time, assuming that this time things will finally be better, that you will get rid of all the embarrassing and imperfect moments of your life and live a dream according to a perfect plan. However, Madam Chair, reality can hit you hard. In reality, time traveling will make you stranded in the middle of endless consequences and regrets. You are voluntarily walking into a vicious cycle of trying to mend your mistakes and trying to make everything perfect until you only realize that achieving perfectness is in fact impossible. By this phase, time traveling will be a curse rather than a gift, because knowing that you have the power to change things, but also knowing that things could terribly go wrong and trail off from your plans should not be called a gift at all. To wrap up, The most important question that should have been addressed throughout the debate is number 1. So at the end of the day, which of those two abilities is more practical and efficient? Number 2, which ability gives you a better learning experience? Number 3, what comes with the least side effects? Team opposition clearly takes this debate home by answering all of those 3 questions. Thank you.
Yeah, she read her. Okay, so by reading her script, she had no eye contact. Okay, another one. Okay, what class are you in? Harvard. Okay, one blue sticker for Harvard. Okay, you're in the red. Yes, you. Yes, you.
She spoke a new argument.
Yes, she spoke a new argument. What class are you in? Yale. Okay, one blue sticker for Yale. Okay, I would like to now welcome the government reply onto the podium.
Once again, good afternoon, honorable judge, fellow debaters, and the audience. Today we have come together to debate the motion whether time travel is better than teleportation. As a government reply, I will be first summarizing the arguments from both the teams, and afterwards I will explain why the government side is better and has won this debate. The government team has made 3 arguments in this debate and why time travel is better. The first was that one could fix mistakes in the past. Second, time travel helps you prepare for the future. And third, time travel gives you educational opportunity to learn from past moments or past failures. The opposition can also offer 3 arguments on why teleportation rather than time travel is better. The first was that teleportation decreases cost and travel. Second, teleportation can save time, and teleportation protects one from dangers that can occur during travel. During the debate, there were several clashes, but I will be primarily focusing on one. Now, there was a priority values or values involved with priority. The government team gave reasons that time travel was better, as one had the ability to change the state in the past. The opposition focused more on why teleportation increased efficiency, and they claimed to batch time travel, since that was less reasonable and narrow-minded. The opposition team, however, gave no strong evidence, and in one manner whatsoever, they never managed to encompass the true extent of time travel. The opposition said time travel is always using narrow-minded tactics for individual gain for their own selfish needs, and the individual can change many factors in society and make them for the better. And for this, at the for the opposition team, we can see the victory goes to team government. Now, throughout the debate, the government team not only gave strong evidence for specific examples, they also provided much more logical sequences of thought, helping one to understand the argument overall. With the government team giving better rebuttals, we believe it is safe to conclude that the government team has won this debate. Thus, the motion stands. Thank you.
Right? Are we meant to play around when he's talking? No, what are you meant to do when you're listening to other speakers? Yes, you have to take notes during the speech, right? Yes, I'm really sorry for doing that. And that's it for the speech. Do you guys know what we have next Saturday? Who knows what's coming next Saturday? What's coming next Saturday? What class are you in?
Okay, now I will explain to you the schedule of the 2018 Summer Half Camp Debate Championships. August, we have the preliminary round. Okay, this will be your first debate. Are you guys ready? Yeah. You guys ready? No, yeah. Okay. And on the 7th of August, we have the finalist announcement. The students who go up to the finals. Are you ready to go up to the finals? Yeah. No, why? Okay, so on the 8th of August, we have the quarterfinals, and on the 9th of August, we have the semifinals. And on the 10th of August, what do we have? Final championship! The final championship! What do you guys have to do? Win! Yes, you guys have to prepare and win. Thank you.
Okay, since this is really important, I would like to say this again in Korean. So, 예선전 언제예요? 예선전? 다음 주 토요일이 예선전이고 그 다음에 본선 진출자는 언제 발표될까요? 화요일에 8월 7일 화요일에 발표가 되고 그 다음에 8강은 8월 8일 4강은 하고 마지막 결승은 퇴소 전날인 8월 10일 금요일에 결승전이 이루어집니다.
Okay, so now I will explain to you the two most important things that you guys would like to know. First, the teams. The teams will be made up of 4 members, okay? 몇 명으로 이루어진다고요? 4명! And the team members will be selected randomly, okay? 여러분들이 고를 수 있나요? 아니요, okay, randomly. And the speaker roles, such as the Prime Minister or Leader of Opposition, will not be assigned, okay? 그 말은 즉, 우리 이제 발표할 때 다 정해지나요? 누가 되는지? 안 정해지는 거죠? Okay.
And one more thing about 4 members. 오늘 우리 3명 있었던 것처럼 3명이 될 수도 있고 4명이 될 수도 있거든요. 웬만하면 4명이지만 반에서 상황이 안 된다면 3명으로 이루어질 수 있어요. 그 다음에 규칙 같은 게 있는데 No groups may work together in the dormitory. 기숙사에서 같이 group work 할 수 있을까요? 없을까요? You are given 2 hours of time to prepare for the preliminary round. 예선전 준비할 시간 수업 시간 때 2시간씩 주어질 거거든요. 그때 같이 준비하면 돼요. 그 다음 second, debaters cannot ask questions about the given motion to any teachers or mentors. 주제가 주어지게 되면 그 주제에 대해서 다른 선생님들, 우리 디베이트 선생님들이나 멘토쌤들, 담임 선생님 혹은 학습tempo 선생님들한테 물어볼 수 있을까요? 없을까요? 없어요. 하지만 디베이트 관한 규칙 같은 거나 아니 모르는 점, 수업 시간에 배웠던 것 중에서 헷갈리는 점을 다시 물어볼 수 있으니까 그런 부분을 물어보고 모션에 대한 내용만 선생님들한테 못 물어보는 거예요. 그 다음에 마지막으로 teams must be prepared to argue for both the government and the opposition. So when you pick one motion, you have to prepare for both the government and the opposition. Right, so 모션을 뽑으면 찬반 둘 다 준비해서 이제 토론 시작 10분 전에 새로 government인지 opposition인지 확인하게 될 수 있어요. 10분.